I was married for 75 days before I filed for a divorce. I've told this story before, but so many women ask me, so I'll tell the story again. And let me preface this by saying, before y'all jump in the comment section talking about God, this and that and the third, I don't care. I don't want to hear it. I was married for long enough to see what I needed to see, and I dipped. I don't feel no type of way about it. I got in and I got out. It's something that I would never do again, and it just is what it is. Okay, so part one. So I'll start this out by saying we did not know each other very long. We knew of each other for a long time, but we did not know each other for a long time. And at the time when he asked me to marry him, I kind of was in a space where I was like, yeah, okay, well, whatever. I'll do it. Like, and that's the honest truth, y'all. Like, that's just the honest truth. So me and him, or he and I, went to the same college. So we were in college at kind of at the same time because he's 4 years older than me. So he was like kind of on his way out when I was on my way in. But because we're both from the same state, we knew some of the same people who ran in some of the same circles. And if you go to an HBCU, then you know that a lot of people know a lot of people, especially, if you're involved in campus and just by, going to parties and things and clubs and just whatever. So we kind of like knew of each other, if you so to speak, not a lot, but like kind of like in passing, if that makes sense. But we were connected because we knew the same people. And I didn't know it until after the fact, but he had been watching me for quite some time online and crushing on me for quite some time online. And I didn't know, but he ends up sliding in my DM. Well, let me go back. He would always comment on my post, and so him commenting on my post, initially I would start out, thank you, whatever. Not super impressed, but he was pretty persistent with that. And so then the comments led to him basically sliding in my DMs. Like, we went to the same college, just striking up normal conversation of, people who went to a HBCU. We're from Florida. We have that in common. So that's kind of how the conversation started. And then he asked me after the conversation, in the DMs, can we exchange numbers? And so we exchanged numbers and started texting, back and forth. And it didn't take him long. He asked me on a date, which hindsight is 2020. He said, maybe we can meet up for coffee or tea. And I should have left his ass where he had me up at. But what I did say was, I don't meet men for coffee dates. So I'm not getting in my car to go on no coffee date. It's not happening. And he quickly corrected himself, like he didn't get offended by it or anything. And he was just like, oh, okay. So, how about we meet for dinner? And so he started, giving me the some options to choose from, because he was asking me like what I like and what I want to eat. So he was very much a planner. Like he had no problem planning. He had no problem like taking me where I want to go. He had no problem with if I said I don't like that, I don't want to do that. He didn't get offended. He was just like basically like, it's whatever. It's your world. I like you. I want to spend time with you. So it doesn't matter to me where we go. So long story short, we end up selecting the place for our first date or whatever. So he picked the place. I chose to drive to meet him to the place because I didn't want him to know where I live and all that good stuff. And so this place that we met at just happened to have crazy parking. So it took me, when I got to the location, it took me a while to figure out where to park, which caused me to be late, which also caused me to be a little bit flustered because of not knowing where to park. And so I was communicating with him that I was late and I was flustered, and I'm just at the point where I'm just about ready to turn around. So he was basically like, no, 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 don't do that. Where are you? I will basically come and find you, or I'll walk you through the process on where you need to go so that you can park. It's okay. Don't worry. And that's what he did. And so I found the parking spot or whatever, and we met up at the restaurant. And he basically was like, whatever you want. So I ordered a drink, I ordered an appetizer. The conversation started to flow. He was dressed really nice. He was cool. Like he was nice. He was cool. The conversation flowed. He knew how to hold a conversation and all of that. And we was laughing and whatever. And so the day ends. He walks me to my car. He pays for the parking, and he also sends me gas money for me having to drive. And he's basically like, okay, text me when you get home. So doing everything right, doing everything right. So cool, whatever. So that was the first date. So of course, that was good. We go on a couple more dates. We're communicating, we're talking, whatever. So after a while, he was like, I got food, you should come over. And I'm like, cool. I'm cool at this point. You ain't coming to me. I don't mind coming to you. That's cool, whatever. So I go to his place, which was quite a bit of a distance, but I didn't mind because he was just like, I got you with, your gas money, whatever you need, whatever, I got you. And he was that type of person. Like whenever I drove, or just, he would just randomly cash out me. He would always pay for my gas, made sure I always had gas in my car, all of that good stuff. So I didn't mind driving there because I'd rather go to his house than him come to mine. And so I got there, and he had flowers, he had candles burning, the house was exceptionally clean, and he had food. So it was cool. Like we were watching a movie and eating and talking, and he started playing music. And we had an amazing time. I didn't spend the night because I'd be ready to go home. So I went, night came to an end. I drove back home. And I'm the type of person, I don't care what time it is. When I'm ready to go home, I'm going home. Because I don't care if it's dark. I'm going home. And he was kind of like, it's dark outside. Like, it's kind of a distance. You want to drive? And I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to go home. So I went home. Things were cool. We dated more. And boom, he was basically like, I ain't never met a woman like you. We have so much in common. Like, we're on the same page. Like, I really like you. Like, I really do. And so he was like, how you feel about like us getting married? Like, I would marry you. So I guess he was trying to like gauge how I was feeling. And I'm gonna tell y'all, I ain't never been a woman that has been like, oh my God, man, well, I got my wedding planned out. I got my colors planned out. I've never been that type of woman. And he is not the first man to want to marry me. I've been proposed to 3 times by my son's dad, and I've been proposed to by 3 other men that I have turned down marriage proposals. So him wanting to marry me is nothing new. And I can honestly say most of the men that I have dated have wanted to marry me. That's just has always been my experience in adulthood. And I will say he just caught me at a time and a space where I was just like, okay. And I know that sounds crazy, y'all, but I didn't take it as that big of a deal. For me, it kind of was like something to check off the list to say that I've done it. I know that sounds bad, y'all, but it's the truth. And I didn't look at it from like a what you call this religious aspect. I was just looking at it like it's something to check off the deal. This man is a lawyer. This man got his stuff together. Okay, I don't really mind. So yeah, sure, whatever. Part two, I asked for a divorce after being married for only 75 days. So to pick up where I left off, we were great. Everything was going great. We were dating. We were having a good time. We were getting to know one another. And one day I was at his house. We just chit chatting it up, and he was like, I really see myself marrying you. And I was like, oh, you do? And he was like, yeah, I'm for real. Like, I really do see you as being my wife. So I didn't take it as serious as he was saying it. So I was kind of like, yeah, okay, laughing or whatever. So he was like, nah, I'm serious. Like, I want you to be my wife. We should go get married. And I was like, okay, still not really taking it serious and not thinking that it's something that he wanted to do at that time. I thought like he meant like down the line or whatever. But he was like, nah, we should go get married. I'm gonna go get you a ring. We should get married. So I called my sister. I told my sister, like, this man's serious about getting married. And so we laugh. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it. And so we're laughing because she had already met him. So she had already been around him or whatever. So I was like, I'm going to do it. And the way that my sister and I are, we got each other backs no matter what. Because at the end of the day, we know, like, whatever it is, I'm gonna help you get out of it. You gonna get out of it either way it goes. And that's just the truth. It wasn't that deep, y'all. I didn't approach marriage from a religious standpoint. I didn't approach it from a love standpoint. Marriage is not about religion. Marriage has nothing to do with that. Marriage has nothing to do with love. Marriage is a business contract. It's a business deal. So the same thing as if you were going into a business partnership with someone and the terms and conditions of that contract were not met and you sever your business ties, that's the same way I looked at marriage, and that's just the truth. So he was like, yeah, we should go get married. Let's set a date. So we set the date or whatever, which was days later. And so I was at his house, so I went back to my house. And so I started to prep and prepare for the day. So I, went and got my nails done, went and found a dress, went and found something to wear. And I'm just like kind of nervous, but at the same time, I'm just like, I'm just going to do it. What do I have to lose? Because in my mind, we're not about to combine assets. We don't have children together. I live over here. He lives over here. Maybe eventually, once I see, then things will be okay enough for me to feel comfortable enough to talk about it. But as of right now, it's not that deep. And I'm just being honest. And so I went and got my nails done, got my hair done, got me a dress, did all of that. And so my sister and I are talking the whole time. I think I called my cousin too. And my cousin and I are the same. Like, as we have the same type of relationship that I have with my sister. So it's kind of like, girl, go ahead. You ain't got nothing to lose. That's just how we are. And so the day of, so I get dressed, I go to back to his house because we're gonna go from his house to the courthouse to get married. So we get to the courthouse and it's closed. And we're like, okay, the courthouse, why is the courthouse closed? Come to find out it was like George Washington's birthday or something crazy that we never even thought about. Red flag number one. That should have told me not to keep going. So we decided to go out to eat, talk, have a good time, reset the date. So I believe we set the date a couple of days later. So I was like, all right, cool. So the day of, we go to the courthouse, we get dressed that morning, we talk about it, we go to the courthouse. So as we're entering in the courthouse, it's cold. It's December, so it's freezing outside. And so I have on these boots that come up like above my knee, underneath my dress or whatever. And so when we get to the metal detectors, they're like, you got to take those boots off. You can't come through here with boots on because we got to be able to see what's in your boots. So it kind of made me, I'm like, red flag number two. So I had to take my boots off so that I could walk through the metal detector. I also had some lotion in my handbag, and they said that the lotion bottle was too big to bring inside, so I could either walk it back to the car, have him walk it back to the car, or I could just throw it away. And I was just like, whatever, throw it away. So we get through the metal detector, we hold hands, they tell us what floor to go up on. So we go up on the floor, to the where you get the marriage license, and we have to sign in or whatever. And so she gives us the form, and so he's filling out his portion of the form, then he hands it to me. I'm filling out my portion of the form, and I'm just in my head like, damn, I'm really doing this, still just going with the flow, like just going with the flow. And so we fill it out, the lady verifies our ID, then we have to go back to the like another room where the lady reads through the form and confirms that I'm who I say I am, he's who says he is, and we are not currently married to anybody else. And so she gets to the part of the form where she's like, how do you want to take his last name? Do you want to hyphenate do you want to hyphenate it? How would you like for it to be? And so I was like, hyphenated or whatever. So he kind of looked at me, but I didn't care. So I was like, hyphenated. So she was like, okay, well, we'll hyphenate and we'll put his last name on the end of yours. So we continue to go. We go through all that. She signs it off. She gives us this paper and tells us that we have to mail it off in order for it to be effective. So we're going to have to put it in the mail. They're going to have to stamp it. The judge has to stamp it, send it back after we get it officiated. So we're like, all right, cool. So he calls one of his favorite pastors and was like, we just got a marriage license. I would like for you to marry us. And so the pastor and his wife was like, oh my God, okay, cool. Like, we'll do it. So we go get something to eat after we leave the courthouse because we're hungry. And the pastor was like, it was going to take him a couple of hours to meet us to get it officiated. So he's calling everybody, telling everybody in his family, which we had talked about that we were not going to like make an announcement until later. And for me, I wasn't going to tell nobody but my sister and my cousin because I just ain't want to put people in my business like that. So I didn't want to like make no grand announcement. And for me, again, marriage was not a big deal in that sense because we were not connecting our lives right away. So I knew I needed like time to see. I know it sounds crazy, but it's the truth. So we talk about that and we're like, we're not going to make a big announcement. The minute he get a chance, he calling his sisters, he calling his cousins, he calling his friends. Oh, I just got married, and everybody like, oh, you marry her? She's pretty. You got a good wife. Blah 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 blah. So I'm like, damn, he just telling everybody. The whole time I'm just telling my sister and my cousin, and we texting back and forth, like basically laughing about it. And so we go get something to eat, and then we meet the pastor for him to officiate. So before the pastor officiates, I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom. So I go to the bathroom. The pastor's wife comes into the bathroom. So she's like, you're gorgeous. It's the day that you're getting married. We've been married for 30 years. Basically, like giving me advice, like how they've been had ups and downs, how there's going to be really hard times, but there's also going to be good times, and how you got to put your marriage first and keep people out your business and don't tell people what's going. Just the whole spiel. And she done been married to this man for 30 something years. So I'm like, okay, I'm listening. I'm like, all right. So we go out there. The pastor starts to officiate. And I'm just standing there the whole time. Like basically in like a daze almost. Like I was just not even there, honestly. And so it goes through the vows or whatever. We say, I do. He has officiated the damn marriage. Part 3, I asked for a divorce after being married for 75 days. So once we got it officiated by the pastor, we went out to a fancy dinner. So he had made reservations at this place. Very, very nice. He was very, very good at making reservations to awesome places. Like awesome. He was amazing with picking out that. So it was a very nice restaurant. We went, we ate, we drank, whatever. He was still excited. He was calling more people, telling more people, what we had done. I did not call anybody and tell anybody anything. After dinner, we went to like the liquor store to get some wine and champagne to continue celebrating. Went back to his house or whatever. Everything was cool. So the next morning while at his house, he was like, well, would you like to go on our honeymoon? Because he's a traveler. He likes to travel. But the time that we got married and the time that I had to go back to work and like get my kid and everything, it was a short amount of time. And so we decided on where we were going to go for the honeymoon. He literally planned everything out. I didn't have to say anything or any of that. He planned the entire trip, the flight, he made the reservations, he did all of that. So about a week later, we went on our honeymoon. Um, he booked the room. I mean, top notch room, top floor vibes. Told the lady that we had just got married. I mean, everything was nice. We were going out. We were hanging out. We was going shopping. We were eating good. We were having a ball. Like my honeymoon was a ball, and it just so happened that it was New Year's. So our honeymoon coupled with New Year's, it just made it fun. Like we had a ball. We was supposed to stay, I think, for 3 days initially, but we ended up extending it like a couple more days just to kind of relax before we got back to like gearing up and get ready for the new year, get ready for work. We did this thing where we kind of like planned for the new year. He likes to plan out his his year. And so we kind of did like a brainstorming session to kind of plan things out individually and kind of together as well. And so we did that and we ended up coming back home. And when we got back, I told y'all that we did not live together. So he basically went to his house. I went to mine to kind of, get things back to normal. So we were just being normal, talking on the phone. He was at his house working, doing his thing. I'm at my house working, doing my thing. We would see each other probably like every 3 to 4 days, but a lot on the weekends because that was like when we both had time because I was working, he was working or whatever. So worked out fine. So here's where it starts to twist. So I told y'all he was a lawyer. So he's the kind of guy that he is very likes to be involved in the community. He likes to be in like certain social circles. He likes to be on the scene of things, political events, all kind of things. He's a lawyer. The problem is he also wanted me to be that type of person. And I'm not that type of woman. Like I have my own motion. I have my own things going on. So he would be like, I have an event that we're going to go to Thursday at 6 o'clock. And I'm like, who is we? You ain't tell me about this. Like tomorrow's Thursday. Like how can you assume that I'm available to do that? Like I'm a very structured, routine person. Like I work, I do my business, but I like to be like home. I'm a homebody, but I'll also travel. I'll also get out. But you're not about to catch me out at events several times a week. That's just not who I am. Like I'd rather do what I got to do for work out, and then get in my bed with some wine and read a good book. That's just the type of woman that I am. He's, on the other hand, he likes to be out at all the events. And so I started to notice a pattern of that where he would like say he had this event to go to and with the expectation that I would be on his arm at these events. Mind y'all, I look good on his arm. We look good together on paper with my career background, with us going to the same HBCU, with my looks, all of that. I looked good on his arm on paper. Like my resume is impeccable. So if he's out in these social circles, if he's out in these political circles, I can hold my own. When conversations come up and they ask me what do I do, or my career path, all of that, my resume speaks for itself. So I fit the bill for him. I look good on his arm. But he just started to do that, like volunteer my time. So there was this one particular incident where, okay, so that was that. So I'll stop there at that part. So one day I was at his house. And, typical us being in his house. When I got to his house was absolutely disgusting. If y'all remember in part one, when I told y'all when I first went to his house, it was very clean. He had the candles burning. It smelled good. Everything was good. I went to his house, y'all. I hadn't been to his house in about a week. It was an absolute mess. Hold on, y'all. Oh, my son needs this. Okay, I'm back. So his house was an absolute mess. I'm talking about food all over the place, McDonald's containers, everything he ate for that week, all over the floor, the trash can running over. It smelled like trash in there. And I'm like, oh my God, what's going on in here? And he was like, well, I knew you was coming. I was busy this week. And, I got a wife now. And so, like, my wife will make sure everything's straight. Strike two. Nigga, I don't live here. I got my own house. So you're expecting me to be a maid. I was cool. What I said was, we gonna have to tidy this up together, because if you want me coming over here, I ain't finna sit over here in no nasty house. So we gonna have to tidy this up, and we gonna have to talk about you getting you a housekeeper, because that ain't me. So we tidied up the house or whatever and got some food or whatever, and I ended up spending the night. The next morning, he said he had this event that he needed to go to. I didn't want to go to the event with him, so I stayed at his house. I had my Apple Watch, and I forgot my charger at home. So I went to look for his Apple Watch charger, took his Apple Watch off the charger, and as I'm taking his Apple Watch off the charger, a whole slew of text messages populate. So, I'm a woman, I'm a look. It's in my hand, so I put my watch on the charger. So I'm looking through the watch. He texting all these women. Ain't never stopped. This man got a whole girlfriend. Well, she thinks she is girlfriend. When I say that phone was full of women, so I'm just scrolling. Taking pictures with my phone. Because I know he don't lie. I know he's going to deny it. All of that. So I'm just taking pictures, looking through all of it. And it's not one woman. It's like, this is a couple years ago, y'all. So probably like 5 or 6 women in his phone. Like, yeah. Like, and they had been like, so when I'm at my house and he at his house, he doing God knows what. Now, mind y'all, I wasn't talking to no other men. So even though I initially went into the situation, stop. Talking to my dog. Even though I initially went into the situation not taking it serious, I never cheated. Like, I did do what I was supposed to do. But he was.